a way of life. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I just wanted to break this energy down on a more personal, mundane level of how you could be experiencing this Capricorn lunar full moon lunar eclipse. I think it's important to have some framework to kind of take notes and really work through this energy. I think it'll be worth your while. So I took the time to really like break it down from what year it started, and I'm just gonna jump right in and just see. So you can I kind of want to paint a picture for you. So 2015, Pluto was in this place in your chart. Pluto really transformed some area in your life with the fear that you faced or something that had changed permanently. There was some big life changes in 2015. And then 2019, January of 2019, Saturn was here, and Saturn asked you to make some new choices about the changes that you had experienced from 2015 and how that's kind of wrapping up, right? And then in February of 2020, Jupiter was here in the same place and brought in a way to expand, learn, and grow, do something, develop something. And now you have this final last piece with the Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse. That is a turning point, closing something out, completing something, ending something from over the last 5 years. So what was that for you? Like, what was that journey for you? What was that something that Pluto kind of transformed permanently? And then in 2019, you kind of started working and breaking it down to maybe into smaller pieces and making different choices about it and really just trying to figure out how that would look for you. And then February this year of 2020 with Corona, when we kind of became inward and all these planets became retrograde, what were you figuring out inwardly? What inner, deeper issues or challenges are you kind of sorting out to help you manifest these little pieces and keep building and building and building upon those? Like this Capricorn lunar eclipse might be bringing something to light about that. Like you're going to get some kind of messages, or that ding idea that says that was that one missing piece. So the way you acknowledge this is by honoring the new power, your new power, right? Because Capricorn is power and control. So on a personal level, you found the boss within yourself, or some new sense of life direction or mastery. Honor that. This is something you're still figuring out. This eclipse is really, again, going to help you see something. So Saturn is helping you with loose ends, kind of wrap up those responsibilities until January when it moves into Aquarius. Something could be ending around your career, profession, life direction, contracts, because again, this is what Capricorn rules, the 10th house, on a mundane level. So when I did the first video, I talked about it from the world stage. So we're seeing structures and systems within our governments breaking down. But for you, it was probably, again, your career, profession, life direction, contracts, that's kind of breaking down. Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn are all retrograde. So again, some kind of internal discovery, awareness that you're dealing with. This could be your own sense of purpose, your mission, and the work that you're meant to do in the world. So, how do you want to show up in the world? And you know, what is your purpose, especially with that Mars energy, because Mars is about initiating your purpose, your mission. Um, that's really going to be fueled at this time, right up until about September when Mars goes retrograde. Then we'll be doubling back again just to make sure we got it right, because Capricorn's like, okay now, because it's going to take whatever this thing is for you that's coming up for you. um, Capricorn is all about hard work, discipline, and responsibility. So it's going to be a lot, but it's yours. So it's going to feel right. And it's not going to feel like a lot. It's going to feel fulfilling, right? So Mars and all the cardinal placements that are going to be happening at this time, or really the whole second half of the year, um, are going to be telling you to like move, go, let's get this done. But you know, with all the retrogrades, unfortunately, it's just not time. We're still in the I need to figure this thing out stage. Not to mention, when you have all these changes happening on the world stage, those outer things that they have to also figure out are plaguing and kind of affecting our movement forward. So, you know, I strongly suggest that you reconsider, rethink about how to move more creatively. It might make you feel really tired, so don't just assume because you're tired that you're not getting anything done. I was just invited to a summit from Danielle. By the way, thank you so much, Danielle. Oh my gosh, she's so awesome. She invited me to her summit that she's doing for all these people coming on, speaking on different ways of making finances for your business and just in general. And I was invited to do readings there. I have my own room. They set up a room for me on Discord. How amazing is that? I am so honored to be a part of that. Thank you, Danielle. But you know, this is going to be forcing you to move forward in some kind of way. But what I've learned from one of the webinars in the summit is time equity. I really like that name for this time. Like, don't just assume because you're tired and you take a nap that you're not fulfilling the work that you're meant to do. That is exactly what you need to do. If your body says take a nap, good God Almighty, take a nap. Like, sleep it off. You might get some dreams that come to you, but at the very least you restore to get up and do it again, right? Those things are just as important as the actual work. So you may feel really tired. Do things in small increments. I really want to finish the re-emerging of the male energy, because this was the piece that I hadn't got to yet, and I still have another video that I have to post, but I got 6 months to talk about Mars. Mars is going to be here for a while, so please be patient with me as I work through this energy, but I also want to make sure that I'm delivering the messages correctly. And with that being said, what this kind of reminded me of was the female-male dynamics that are changing. When we're talking about a personal level. So I envision this as the women who are at home now with their kids and possibly not in a position to have daycare, but they still have to work on their craft or be creative in by way of you know, still being able to make money to survive, right? That's going to be different for everybody. And again, there are people who are already experiencing this. But for the people who don't, who have not experienced this, I think they're going to go into it thinking, first of all, I don't want to give up this freedom, right? As boring as it may be sitting in the house, and again, not everybody's going to agree to this story, but as boring as it has been to sit in the house, there's still some kind of freedom that's coming with being able to work from home and still kind of move about as you will, but you're still working, still making money, and still surviving. But it's a lot of work when you have kids, so you have to do things differently. And when I thought about how we're being instructed astrologically to break things down into smaller pieces, it's like do things in increments, time equity. Where are we putting all this stuff? When do you take care of the children and make the decision to work on your creative structures, whatever your creative structures may be, right? Even if you're not working, I've noticed a lot of mothers who are reveling in standing up and taking in the passion about actually being a mom and being able to teach and sit down with their children to see what it is that they weren't learning, helping them with their projects. Like, it's been really just a beautiful thing to see. But I still think in some kind of way, like that masculinity that I talked about in my last video with the women on the Cancer eclipse, that masculine women specifically, stronger women, this is softening us in some kind of way. I think it's just a beautiful transformation. I have loved seeing it. I love experiencing it. But again, it's not going to be easy. And then on the other side of that, you have that the re-emerging of the masculine energy with that Mars, where I think men are going to begin to kind of have to switch and transform the way they operate, because women have to switch and transform the way they operate. So we're kind of feeding off of each other's energy, and I kind of feel like men might be reveling in this a little bit, because they can see the possibility of being back in power, like in that position of, I'm the man, this is what I'm supposed to do. I have a little bit more leeway to be the man that is meant to, what that was, right? Men are the man of the house. They do all the work. They take care of the bigger things. So this is kind of also forcing them to step up again to the plate and be like, okay, how can I reposition myself to be in that position, to be the man, to take care of the bigger things, while the women are kind of rethinking the way that they work in smaller increments. I think this is going to be very interesting. I really think this is a healing process, as opposed to all the struggles you might experience. It's going to be a lot of fighting. Let's just keep it real. It's going to be ugly. But, overall, when you think of Pluto as a transformational process, it's going to be the rising of the phoenix afterwards. And I think it's going to take a while to see the reprieve of this, just because we have so many planets in retrograde. But I think January and on, a lot of these things are going to start to come to light and mesh together and really form a process, if you will. And we'll still have some time to go as we're continuing to grow spiritually, but on a grander scale, wow, like how beautiful is that? I'm quite frankly looking forward to it. Then we'll have a moon in Pisces transition in retrograde, working on your craft. Like, I think this is going to help us bring some kind of like trans energy, and to being able to work on our craft in some kind of way. Like, I can't really explain it, but you'd have to understand Piscean energy. But on a spiritual and vibrational level, like, we're going to be so engrossed in what it is we really want to see, and working that, like really putting in the work to do that I think is going to be kind of dope. We're also releasing all of the Sag energies, which is the south node that we have switched into for the nodal axis now in Sagittarius and Gemini. So a lot of the religion, belief systems, education, what we've been learning, what has expired, opinions, kind of this righteousness, replacing it and removing those things to a more refreshing way of being, which I gotta be honest, guys, like well overdue, right? The unfortunate part of about it again, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's gonna be brutal. I'm not gonna sit up here and sell you anything short of a lie. When you get Mars and Pisces together, it's ugly. It's disgusting. And Saturn and all this Capricorn energy is not gonna make it any easier because it's rigid about stern. It's that parent, that father figure, like that stern father figure, like, do as I say, not as I do type of energy. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. So hold on to whatever hope you have, whatever spiritual beliefs you have. Practice those 10 times more than you normally do throughout this entire process. And peace be with you. I hope this information was helpful. Peace.